Oh, hi there. I didn't hear you come in. No, I really didn't hear you come in. And when did you set that up? Did you? I could have been doing anything in here. You should have knocked at least. Jesus. Do you want to turn it off and I'll think of something to... Hi, how are things? It's me. Don't you recognize me? Don't you know who I am? Well, there's a reason for that. You see, for many years, I've been making cutting-edge documentaries about raucous millennials.
I'm not sure if you're picking this up on camera, but it's actually kicking me under the table.
Mate, I'm not kicking him.
Ow! You are. Ooh.
The real cause of the COVID pandemic.
I'm not going outside.
That's probably a lie. You've been out twerking, haven't you?
I'm sorry?
The definite existence of alien life forms.
Hold on a second, this doesn't sound like an alien abduction. This sounds like a standard trip to the dentist.
Yes, that's right, it was at the dentist's.
And I've been doing so without conforming to a woke BBC narrative.
So have you never heard of me? Why have my videos had so few views and only ever received one comment, which was written in Romanian, and when I translated it, it just said, "Have a day." Not even "have a nice day," just "have a day." Thanks, I will. Be difficult not to. For a while, I wondered, even began to doubt my abilities as a journalist, but then I learned the terrible truth. I was being silenced. The lefty snowflakes had gagged me like a kinky blizzard. But now that I know the truth, I am speaking out. It's time for conservative white men to be heard at last. So hear this. I am Thomas Wrinklesmooth. I am a victim of cancel culture. And I will not be silenced.
Keep it down.
Sorry. If censorship was an actual ship, would it be the one that got stuck in the Suez Canal? I contacted the Navy to find out. If censorship was an actual ship, would it be the one that got stuck in the Suez Canal? What? But they refused to answer. What are they hiding? Are the Navy in the pockets of the Wokarati? How far up does this go? Donald Trump, Nigel Farage, Piers Morgan, all people whose views no one is aware of because they have all been cancelled. And it's not just celebs, even run-of-the-mill commoners are too afraid to speak out. Excuse me, what do you think of cancel culture? Does it worry you? Well, there we have it. People are too scared of the consequences to even discuss cancel culture.
No, I just don't want to be interviewed. And don't use this in your stupid documentary, you wee kite.
So what's my story? I recently received an email from YouTube informing me that one of my journalistic videos in which I claimed that Bluetooth attracts bees had been blocked for misinformation. Ha! Misinformation? The only misinformation I know is a woman whose last name is information. That's it's not true, obviously, but it's not misinformation. So, what was going on? Then, it hit me. I'm telling truths that big tech don't want you to know. And the more I looked into it, the more I realized this had been going on for a long time. Internet algorithms meant that my videos weren't getting seen. If you Google news or great journalism or the real truth about things, none of my videos come up. Sounds scary, right? Right. Well, that's only the start. Greetings, I'm Zach Jackerboy, and welcome to the Astral Ram Realm, a virtual world where all of social media lives. And I own it. How cool is that? I own it all. Come on, let me show you around. In the Astral Ram Realm, you don't have to look like a horrible little human. You can choose your own avatar. You could be a robot, you could be a fish, you could be a germ in a petri dish. Wow, hey, looks like the newsroom. This is where you can keep up to date with what's going on in the analog world. As more and more people get their news from social media, we have to make sure that we're recommending the best stories just for you. Take a look. 18 simple tricks to get fat quick. McDonald's hate this. You won't believe what Marilyn Monroe looks like now. This guy picked up a grape. What happens next will blow your mind. Stay informed and have a read. Not those ones. You don't need to know about that. Come on, let's explore some more. Don't look in there. I said don't. He's a Facebook moderator, tasked with looking for and removing inappropriate content. He's seen a lot of violent videos and horrific images, so is suffering from PTSD. This is the price we pay for censorship and keeping our astral realm safe. It is a sacrifice I am happy to make. Check out this cool filter. Hey. Whoa.
Well, I'm a writer of fantasy novels and I've been cancelled for supposed homophobia. But my accusers forget that one of my greatest characters was gay. Bruce, the magical hairdresser. It's not acknowledged directly in the books, but all the signs are there. The way he smiles when he encounters the flamboyant goblin, the rainbow flags we glimpse in his dreams, and the enchanted male sex doll under his desk. And there are many other characters whose sexual preferences are never mentioned because they're too old for us to care or too minor. All those characters are gay. So how can I be homophobic?
I cancel people, yeah. If someone says something that I interpret as hateful, then they must face extreme consequences. I'm just like, okay, boomer, I'm actually on the right side of history, yeah? Check your privilege, you know?
I was also cancelled for so-called transphobia. But my accusers forget there is in fact a trans character in my books. Leslie the Centaur was trans. Mid-transition from a man to a chair. Horse, sorry. I get those mixed up. Anyway, she's got very big hooves.
Negative stereotypes are literal violence. I am literally being physically attacked when I read them. I am literally being beaten to a pulp, writhing on the floor, gasping for air, spitting blood when I read inaccurate tweets. So yeah, I'm gonna defend myself. Self-defense is a human right.
I was also cancelled for supposedly being Islamophobic. But my accusers forget there is in fact a very lovable Muslim character in my books. Osama, the wizard who flew his broomstick into the Wizarding World Trade Center.
Just be better, guys. Be better. If someone says something that suggests a lack of understanding for a minority group, the best way to educate them is with very aggressive threats of violence and/or death. But a painful death.
I've received a lot of threats, abusive messages. I've had my address posted online, people loitering outside the gates. Luckily, my castle's protected by spectral security owls, but I feel very intimidated nevertheless. Maybe I've said something that's not politically correct, I don't know. But does it warrant this? I'm scared. There are people who have threatened to kill me at my gates just because I sent a tweet.
Be kind, guys. Be kind. Like me.
This is Rachel. She was once a high-flying manager at a company that made luxury corkscrews, but then everything changed. What happened, Rach?
Well, in my line of work, you do make enemies, and some people who had a problem with me, they searched my Twitter account, they took something out of context, showed it to my employer, and before I even had a chance to explain myself, I had been fired for supposed homophobia.
It is a very sad day indeed when a woman loses her livelihood because of one homophobic tweet.
Oh no, it wasn't homophobic.
I've had a look at the tweet myself, and I've got to say, at first glance, it could seem slightly homophobic.
It wasn't homophobic.
You wrote, I hate they disgust me, they should not exist.
If you look at the conversation, you'll see we were talking about chip shops, and I said I don't like.
Whoa, don't say it again.
I'm talking about the food. We were talking about meatballs. It had nothing to do with gay people.
Well, I've only got this one screenshot of the tweet, so I've no way of verifying that.
I was talking about the meatballs and it was taken out of context. Look, it's taken me 4 years to finally get back on my feet. I found a company that believes in me and I'm finally getting my life back on track.
Contacting your employer to get you fired is really sickening behaviour. Honestly, Reg, I literally feel sick just thinking about the type of person who would do that. I can only imagine how you feel. Also sick, probably.
Oh, I guess.
Probably even more sick than I feel, and I feel incredibly sick. But neither of us will be sick, because that is what the councillors want.
The libtards try to cancel me all the time, but I got something called freedom of speech. I can say what I want. Hang on. That child is f***ing ugly. What a gross little gremlin. Who's the dad? Shrek or Jabba the Hutt? Absolute minger.
How dare you? What's wrong with you?
Whoa, calm down. F***ing snowflake over here. Jesus, can't say anything these days. I've got freedom of speech, yeah? So on you go. See what I mean? Trying to silence me all of the time, but I won't. Hold on. Why the f*** are you walking so slowly? Speed it up. You and your obese dog are jamming up the pavement. You want me to come over there and snap that walking stick? I'll throw it for your dog if you like, because any luck will pull you both into the canal. Sorry about that. Can't stand blind people.
Wait, what's your problem? That's so offensive.
Yeah? Just because you're offended don't mean to say you're right. I'm allowed to say what I want, and you just have to shut up and listen. It's freedom of speech.
Do you regret the tweet?
Not at all, because it was completely innocent. And, you know, most people have been online for years, and if you scroll back far enough, there'll be something you can take out of context and use against them. It could happen to anyone.
Well, not to anyone. I think you've got to be a bit smart about what you post online.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that to me. But I think that's because it's hard to understand if it hasn't happened to you. So, as an exercise, and to make my point, I've been through some of the things that you've posted online over the years.
Well, I don't even have social media.
You have posted videos on YouTube, and I think there's plenty out there that could be taken out of context and get you cancelled.
Oh, well, hold on.
So in 2014...
2014, that's ages ago.
2014, you said this to a disabled person.
Do a lot of litter picking at the weekend.
Oh, how do you do litter picking from your wheelchair? You mean your carer does it? You just go along? No, that's fine. It's the thought that counts.
No, I use a stick to pick it up.
Oh, hold on. I think I've got you wrong. I was thinking you were a sympathy disabled, but you're actually an inspiration one, like Paralympians.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. I should have told you what category of disabled person I'm in.
You should have done. I was paying him a compliment.
Disablist. And you also said this to a graffiti artist.
Graffiti. Some people say that's expression. Is it though? Well, I see it names and swear words. Is that expression, or is it just you showing off that you finally learned to spell a 4-letter word? I stand by that. Graffiti is awful.
Could be seen as classist snobbery, especially as you also called him a chav. During a radio interview in 2016, you said this about poor people.
We all have the same 24 hours. Yeah, I've worked my absolute ass off to get to where I am today. Being poor is usually down to laziness. Technically, what I'm saying is correct. We all have 24 hours in a day. Unless you're going on a flight across time zones, then you might get a few extra hours, I suppose. But generally, poor people cannot afford to live like that. So they only get 24. None of this would get me cancelled at all.
Okay, well there was one other video I found, and I think this really does go to show that we've all done things in our past that we regret. But, you know, should that thing be used to turn our entire lives upside down?
I actually am very careful about what I say, and I stand by every decision I've ever made.
Okay, so I found this from searching your name on Instagram. It's helmet footage from a cyclist.
A cyclist?
Whoa! Jesus! Why didn't you look where you're going? You just stepped out in front of me.
Which way you're going? You've crushed my cream horns.
Well, look before you step into the street, idiot.
You're the idiot. Don't you know how to drive a car, pal?
Well, you're lucky I wasn't driving a car, because otherwise it wouldn't just be your cream horns that got crushed.
Wouldn't just be my cream. There's no just about my cream horns being crushed. You're liable, mate. Lucky I don't sue. Doubt you'd be able to afford it if you can't even afford a car.
Well, I can afford a car.
Doesn't look like it. Well, on the dole, are you?
No, I'm a nurse, actually.
Yeah, well, I thought you were cycling like a woman. What, couldn't cut it as a doctor? But you la-di-da, are we? Get a car.
I've got a car.
I've got a car. Yeah, I've got one. Do you know who I am?
Yeah, you're a moron.
I am Thomas Wrinklesmooth.
Who?
Thomas Wrinklesmooth.
Who's Thomas Wrinklesmooth?
Me. So watch it, yeah? Bloody cyclists. Whoa!
Find out.
Christ! My cream horns! Well, they're ruined. You might as well have them now. Not this one, obviously, but help yourself to those.
You all right, mate?
He's fine. I've said he can have the cream horns. You're not supposed to give them money because they spend it on drugs. You enjoy those, mate. The cream horns are on me. Literally, thanks to this prick. Get out of here.
You are such a dickhead. I'm posting this online.
What do you mean? Putting what online?
You're on film, you ass. I've got a helmet camera on.
No, you can't film people without permission. Give me that cap. Whoa! Oh! Why have you moved over here? I'm sick of tramps wriggling around the pavement like worms. Get off the street. Oh. All my cream horns. Gone.
So you don't come out too great in that video, and I think, you know, if you were a bigger celebrity, that is something people could use to get you cancelled.
And that's on Instagram.
Yes, not too many views. It's quite a small account, but it just goes to show it's not hard to find things that can be used to cancel you. People just need to search, you know, keywords and just take something out of context. I'm sorry to bring these videos up, but, you know, hopefully it shows you now that we're all in the same boat.
So those videos, you've got to understand, you've taken them totally out of context.
Yes, exactly.
I don't hate poor people or tramps or even some cyclists.
No, but it's when you see these things isolated.
So we're not in the same boat, actually, because I don't hold those negative views, whereas you do hate gay people.
What? No, I said that tweet was about...
About the meatballs, yes, but what about this tweet I've just found? I searched your Twitter feed for keywords, as you said, and oh look, I can't stand puffs. I would never allow one into my home, they're repulsive.
I don't even remember tweeting that.
So, sadly it turns out you are homophobic after all. I've already sent an email to your employer with a screenshot of the offensive tweet as well as a summary of your homophobic past. Are they going to feel comfortable employing a repeat offending homophobe? I very much doubt it.
But you're just proving my point. You're taking this out of context. I'm not homophobic.
And I'm afraid we're going to have to blur your face and remove you from set in order to distance you and your horrible views from this programme.
Sorry, we're going to have to ask you to leave.
Please, no, I've just got back on my feet. No, this is so wrong.
Rachel Phillips's views are not remotely endorsed by myself or the actual truth. And if you do want to challenge her hateful opinions, she lives at 24 Abingdon Avenue, North London, so please do let her know your thoughts.
You're proving my point. This is cancel culture.
Since that interview, it has come to light that Miss Phillips's tweet was in fact referring to the furniture item poofs and was not homophobic. It was a conversation about footstools that was taken out of context. Nevertheless, Miss Phillips has been fired from her job just to err on the side of caution, and to be fair, if she's getting accused of homophobia this often, there's probably something wrong. No smoke without fire. Hey look, it's Twitter! A safe space for everyone and anyone. A forum for free speech. You'll notice all the bad people have been removed. Wow! A nuanced debate is taking place. Let's check it out. Like to start my mornings with a ice-cold bath. Helps me wake up, lol.
This is dangerous. People have died from taking this unscientific advice. Please be careful what you say on here. Hashtag wellness scam.
If
It is no danger to be in a cold bath. Wellness not a scam. You dick, bro. Oh! Seriously, do some research, dude. Just trying to help. Can send you some articles if you want. Oh!
He's not going to get many likes for that sort of comment.
Piss of mate. Not taking advice from bro with only 43 followers.
That's a strong retweet. He's getting much better engagement for that one.
At least I can spell, mate. Hope your ice bath makes your balls shrivel up. Hashtag more.
Whoa, he brought it back.
You profile pic, greasy gross. Maybe you should take a bath yourself for once, dirty.
We've lost sight of the topic, but it's a much better debate now. Look at the engagement.
Whatever, mate. Wellness is a scam and you're an idiot for falling for it. No!
Great interaction, guys. Great to hear some different opinions. But I like an ice bath myself now and then. I believe in wellness, and if you don't share my beliefs, you have no place in my realm.
User deleted.
Some people say that if you die in the astral realm, you die in real life. It's not true. Not yet. Hey, let's check out the rest of this wacky place. You could be a pink cat, you could be some toads, you could be a lamb rat chewing on electrodes. Oh, I see this post about the plandemic has caught your eye. It suggests that the COVID-19 pandemic was all a conspiracy. How interesting. Does that idea interest you? There are certain users who disagree with the theory, but don't worry, I won't suggest you talk to them. In fact, I'll make sure that they stay with their friends and you can stay with yours. You enjoyed reading about the plandemic, didn't you? Why not take a look down this tunnel? You'll find even more info about it, and meet new friends who share your interests. You're bound to love it down there. You might never want to leave. And you can be as noisy as you like, though there is a slight echo.
Social media. You may remember the innocent early days of being poked on Facebook and rearing virtual chickens in Farmville. Well, social media's come a long way since then, and now scrolling your feed feels more like a poke in the eye, or the ribs, or the ass. And if Farmville was still around, the pigs would be having suicidal thoughts due to body image concerns, the sheep would be incredibly confused by being called sheeple. I mean, is that a step in the right direction if you are a sheep? And the chickens would be pecking at the dead corpse of the anti-vax farmer who died from injecting himself with bleach after reading a post full of misinformation. Sounds like a horrible farm, doesn't it? Not like this one, which is really nice. Real cows.
So, joining me now via the Astral Ram realm is social media boss, Zach Jacoboing.
Hi Thomas, great to see you.
Thanks for taking the time to speak with me.
Time is meaningless to me. I am just one of an infinite number of Jacoboing avatars that exist within the Astral Ram realm.
Right. Well, I think you've got a lot of explaining to do. Alex Jones, David Icke, Katie Hopkins, Donald Trump, all right-wing, all removed from social media platforms. Why is big tech silencing conservative voices?
We simply remove anyone who spreads misinformation.
But come on, that's rather harsh, don't you think? Conspiracists make massive amounts of money from social media and YouTube, and you're cutting off that income just because they're tricking a bunch of gullible idiots? It seems very unfair. And quite stupid from your perspective too, because they spend loads of money on social media advertising and rake in thousands on YouTube. You could make a lot of money from these right-wing conspiracists if you just gave them the chance.
Yes, I was unaware of that.
Now, I love the truth as much as the next guy. In fact, a hell of a lot more than the next guy. But even I would say If a little bit of misinformation gets you a large bit of money, what's the worst that can happen?
Death.
Sorry?
Sometimes it can cause death. A recent example would be the COVID anti-vaxxers, many of whom die or spread the virus to others who die because they believe misinformation. In other cases, if a user becomes too radicalized by an extremist group, this can lead to real-life shootings, which we regret, because a lot of the people being shot are also social media users. We aim to alter our AI so that either the radicalization stops before they reach the murder stage, or we fine-tune it so that they're only inclined to shoot people who don't have a social media account.
Just looking at some notes now, the phrase Pizzagate has come up a lot. Now, what was Pizzagate?
Pizzagate was a conspiracy theory. Some emails had leaked from members of the Democratic Party in which they discussed ordering a pizza. The theory suggests that these were coded messages disguising a pedophile ring.
What? How so? I've got one of the emails here. Could I have a pizza, please? So the code is...
The code is that you substitute the word pizza for little girl.
And then... Jesus! Well, that does change the meaning a hell of a lot, and this was definitely disproven, because once you know the code, this email really does seem worrying.
Yes, it was disproven, but the pizza restaurant was subject to much abuse from believers of the theory. Armed gunmen, threatening phone calls.
Hold on a minute. When Prince Andrew was accused of paedophilia, he claimed that he'd been in a Pizza Express at the time. But if he was using this code, then that means he was in a Little Girl Express.
You're intrigued by the theory. Congratulations! I've signed you up to Facebook. Here are some groups of like-minded people you may be interested in. This way you can get to know them yourself and find out what they really think.
Yes, I suppose that would help my research.
Happy to help, friend.
But before you go, I would just like to say, you are an absolute bastard. One of my videos was removed from YouTube and you are responsible.
There are many cool features in the astral RAM realm.
You are censoring free speech and I am holding you to account.
Hey, check out this crazy filter.
Mother? I went to see a psychologist. Not for me, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm doing really well. I went to get their input on conspiracy theories and cancel culture.
What is wrong with some people? Well, the answer is usually their brain. Their brain is full of faults. The woke, who cancel people, what's wrong with their brains?
Well, I'd like to start by saying there's nothing wrong with their brains.
But there's certainly nothing right with them either.
The problem with cancelling someone is that when we shame people, we don't allow for learning. Say to a child, you're a liar, and they'll think, oh, right, well, that's just who I am then. But say to them, you're a good person who told a lie and that behaviour isn't acceptable, and they'll think, oh, you're right, I'm sorry, that was out of character for me, I won't do that again. We need space for redemption, otherwise nothing changes.
Right. If a child had lied to me, I don't think I'd be telling them they're a good person. I would say to the child, don't you ever think yourself capable of lying to me. I am an incredibly intelligent adult, and I can tell when you're lying because you're not remotely convincing. Where are your parents? Over there? Excuse me, are you responsible for this little liar? Yes, he did just lie to me. Just because he's wearing a cowboy hat doesn't make him a cowboy. He couldn't even saddle up a horse. What would a cowboy be doing in IKEA? Sorry, I had a bad experience in IKEA a couple of weeks back.
Well, another interesting thing about online discourse is what we call splitting theory. Again, going back to children, they tend to see people as either all bad or all good and don't see shades of grey. As we get older, we learn about nuance and realise that we're all a little bit of both. But when it comes to cancel culture, somehow people tend to regress back to this childish mindset where if someone does one thing wrong, they must be evil and should be shunned.
Right, so basically what you're saying is if you cancel someone, you are a child.
A stupid child. And actually, you should be shunned.
Not quite, because then you're doing the exact same
Now,
thing.
I would like to move on to conspiracists, because they also get censored. So, why do people believe conspiracy theories when they're such obvious lies? I mean, if the royal family were lizards, why would they hunt foxes? If they were lizards, they would hunt flies. Prince Charles would be galloping around the countryside with a giant fly swatter in one hand and a whip made out of fly tape in the other. I've never seen that, and I think Harry and Meghan might have mentioned it to Oprah, don't you?
Right, well,
They're more likely to be owls. Owls eat foxes, apparently. Though I can't even begin to imagine how.
a lot of people who believe conspiracies tend to jump to conclusions quite quickly.
Yeah, I noticed that about them almost immediately.
They also tend to see patterns in things that are actually random. Like if a person tosses a coin 5 times and each time it lands on heads, they might say that was predetermined, whereas actually it was something random appearing otherwise.
5 times in a row. Come on, you're probably dealing with a magician there. Sure, it seems random, but there's someone behind the scenes pulling the strings.
They also tend to have an overblown sense of their own intelligence, a dangerous combination of ignorance and overconfidence. So they don't listen to informed people who actually...
Well, I think you've pretty much confirmed everything. I already knew about them. I have actually done my own research. To summarise then, you've got to be pretty dumb to fall for conspiracy theories. Pretty dumb indeed. But nevertheless, conspiracist pages are being silenced, so I'm about to look into why. What are they saying that could be so bad? Well, using my new Facebook account, I've joined a number of conspiracist groups and been accepted into a few, so let's take a look at the kind of mental rubbish these people are spouting. Okay, first thing I found, a post claiming that COVID was caused by 5G. Now, I have actually looked into that myself, and it is true, so they've got lucky there, but I'm sure there's a lot of nonsense here too. Chap called Graham Bannisters here, who has shared a post by Piers Corbyn, Jeremy Corbyn's even insaner, even scruffier brother, who's claiming that climate change is a hoax. Ha! Graham Bannisters, absolute conspiracist moron. Although he has presented some evidence that it seems he could be onto something. So I've had a scroll through, and actually there are some very open-minded people in this group, so I think this might be a good forum to share my own findings, that Bluetooth attracts bees. So here we go. Sent. Now, obviously there are going to be some genuine conspiracists within the group, the likes of crackpot Graham Bannisters, so we can expect a negative reaction from idiots like that, but just received a few likes already, actually. 2 of the thumbs up, and 1 of the heart-shaped reaction, which I think means love. But obviously I only shared that to test the water, find out how these nutters actually think. No, it's nice to get a positive response at last, yes, but as far as I'm concerned, they're a bunch of knuckleheads, and I'm certainly not going to get sucked into their little cesspit of insanity just because they've liked my Facebook post. One of them's actually sent me a friend request. I don't think so, pal. I joined this group entirely for research purposes, and I will be having no contact with any of these weirdos beyond that.
Hi, I'm out with my Facebook group comrades at a freedom rally in London. We're protesting against the climate change lies, the vaccines that everyone's already taken, the lockdowns that aren't happening anymore. We're sick of the BBC, the World Health Organization, and anyone else who gives us advice or information. Stop telling us how to live our lives well. Graham Bannisters over there, good friend of mine. Great guy. His wife's just left him because she says he's obsessed with conspiracy theories, but he doesn't mind because now that she's out the house, he can put up his 5G repellent wallpaper. Keeps out 5G signals and women. That's what I said to him, and we had a good laugh about it. Well, he didn't. He's taken the whole thing quite badly, actually. Verging on suicidal. Now, I know, when I first joined this group, I had my doubts, sure. But after I shared that post about Bluetooth attracting bees, everyone in the group instantly believed me. And because they listened to me, I listened to them. It turns out David Icke's claims about the royal family being lizards aren't quite so crazy after all. He's not suggesting that they're geckos, he's saying they're reptilian humanoids, and that is a very different thing. And after getting on well with members of this group, I was soon receiving suggestions for other groups that I could join. Wonderful groups that I'd never have discovered if it weren't for the Facebook algorithms. The actual truth that I've been searching for years, that's been hidden by the mainstream media, is right here. In these social media groups, I have found an underground society of truth tellers. I have found my people, and perhaps, at last, my target audience. Piers Corbyn's just arrived. Great guy. Always had a lot of respect for him. He's actually got a very similar bag, so quite good to see that we're on the same wavelength for this. Also, quite a similar jacket, so glasses too. Yeah, I've always felt I'm quite similar to him actually.
It's the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be again. So
Yes. Well, there we have it. My cancel culture journey has come to an end. And what have we learned? Well, censorship is never a good thing. Sure, exposure to some misinformation may lead to deaths in the real world, but soon enough we'll be living in a virtual world, so that won't matter actually.
And don't censor conspiracists. They're a great bunch of guys. A real family of open-minded chaps who never question anything I say.
And does cancel culture actually work anyway? Does it stop us hearing the views of the people being cancelled? Or does it scare their followers into silence, meaning debate won't happen and their beliefs won't be challenged? The answer is simple. It does silence people, yes, and it's restricting free speech. Whatever the context, whether you're censoring dangerous disinformation, or racism, or hateful tirades, or terrorists, it's all anti-free speech. You should be allowed to say whatever you want and never be told to shut up. Yes, get the flat earthers on the BBC and don't argue with them. It turns out there's something in it. Look at their diagrams. If the earth's a ball, why doesn't all the water drip off the bottom? And yes, as I said before, Bluetooth does attract bees. It's all there online, but you sheeple just won't look. Bunch of human buyings. Ignore the government-approved fact-check statistics and do your own research like I did on Facebook and internet forums. That is where you will find the actual truth.